I don't know what happened, but the next thing I knew, I jolted upright in bed, like a lightning bolt. Kind of. I woke up in a sweat, confused. My clothes were different. I didn't remember changing, nor falling asleep, and the last thing I remembered was, Donald knocking on the door and that evil laugh of that thing. I smelt smoke, burning smoke, except it wasn't like something burning, at least not normally. It was like pastries being cooked, like a delicious Danish custard bread thing. I don't know. I get those from funerals all the time. The smell was coming from outside, and so I ran across my apartment, ripped open the curtains, and saw it. The fire, the smoke, the smell of delicious bread one only gets at funerals, and the smell was coming right from the apartment across from mine, where Donald lived. The fire wasn't normal. It was black, evil, but not really. It was as if the black flames meant something like justice or something, but not truly evil in itself. The fires burned strongest in where Donald's apartment was, and felt no shame in smiling as it burned. Something was wrong. I've passed by fires before, and I have always been able to hear the thoughts of the damned, whether I've seen the people inside or not. But here, now, nothing. Not even a cry for help, a whimper. Nothing. Just pure, black silence. And I hated it. I looked at the apartment doors. Nobody was coming in nor out, and it was then when I suddenly realised that I hadn't actually seen anyone come in or out in days. No, weeks, or months even. Below, as the smoke began to clear, I saw the streams of water crash into the flames, quickly igniting them. The ocean of thoughts began to streamline into my brain as people entered the scene, a crowd, the fireman, the old lady that lived next door who wouldn't shut up. I put on a coat, headed downstairs and out into the scene.
"What the heck is this fire?" some random fireman shrieked. "How does it turn black?"
"Sodium can turn fire black," I snapped, trying to make sense of the situation. "It's true."
"And how do you know?"
He paused, studying me.
"I know you. You're the person that scammed my—"
I quickly walked away. I could deal with the consequences of my actions some other time. Usually never. Probably never. I walked over to a police car, where Agent Stephanie Rengage emerged. "Rengage, FBI," she announced, causing everyone to go dead silent. By now, the flames had finally been extinguished, and there was nothing left but a rotten shell of a place. "Now, I need everyone here to get in a line. Agents Valarouz and Grey will deal with you." "That's my cue to leave," I murmured, walking away from the scene. Rengage stared into me like daggers. "Kaya Jones," she growled. "With me." I walked over to her, and she gestured for me to get into the police car. As soon as we did, the thoughts dimmed. See, whenever I'm in a private space, I can block more thoughts out. "Listen," she began, "I'm only telling you this because Quint mentioned that you were afraid of the guy who lived across the street, Donald, and because you're my friend. A terrible friend, but—" "I get it," I finished. "So what's up?" "Listen," she continued, "you're our number one witness. Not suspect, but witness." "Oh, goody." I rolled my eyes sarcastically. I could tell she was serious, though. "What else?" I could hear her thoughts before she spoke them, and it chilled me to the bone. "Donald Saul was the only person living in that building. Nobody else lived there, and since Quint told me you were watching him, I'm going to need you to tell me everything you know." There was something else in there, something about teeth. The teeth. "How do you—" "Magic." She ignored me. "Yes, we found a garbage bag full of teeth the other day, and they were all embedded in these chess pieces. Now, you like chess, and I can't help but think these were made for you." Still, something else she was holding back. "And?" I pressed. "The firemen inside discovered bodies. Dead bodies wrapped in this white cloth," Stephanie informed. One of them was uncovered, and there was a corpse inside, a high schooler everyone thought ran away. Instead, he's dead, missing all his teeth and tongue. So tell me, Kaya Jones, how do you fit into all of this? Magic, I sarcastically replied. You'll see it in my report. Now, can I get out of here? Promise to stop scamming old widows? She questioned. No. I got out of the car and back within a sea of noise. People were shouting as one by one, people wearing masks and suits entered and left the apartment, taking bodies wrapped in white cloth outside. I caught a glimpse of one such body, which wasn't covered. It was absolutely horrifying. Teeth removed, face impossibly pale, and what looked like hair that was dyed and preserved in a strange liquid. I don't get paid enough for this. I was escorted to the station by police, and there I wrote up my report, minus the mind reading. I also made sure to brighten myself up as best as possible, an innocent sheep among the terrifying black flames. That's where I found out the body of Donald Zoll had not been retrieved, but he, for all concerns of the authorities, had started the fire and perished in it. Also, that a sheer total of 163 dead bodies had been found, with countless more lost to the flames. They also found sculptures made of teeth, black wooden blocks that looked like someone took a bite of them, and a strange upside-down figurine of a woman that burst into flame when they touched it. I re-entered the scene, bagel in hand. The police were still there, questioning people, and I snuck my way into where all the action was. When you can read minds, getting past the police isn't a hard thing to do. Trust me, I've done this many times before. Like on my drug test. It was one time, I swear. I see you scammed your way up here, a familiar voice said as a person walked up beside me. Ah, Quint murmured, looking right at me. Wait, why are you here? I questioned. Me? Quint asked jokingly. I'm the expert, and I pretty much snuck past the police too. But again, expert. On what? They picked something up from the ground, a wooden pawn with teeth jammed into it. This. They looked at it a while, and then flicked it over. On the back side was a strange symbol, some sort of sigil that looked like a jellyfish. It seemed to be carved in with small, baby-like teeth. Right. There were probably dead, toothless children in there too. The heck is that? I asked. I'm not sure, Quint agreed, but... He pointed to a group of people with signs, shouting something in the distance. I bet they know. I walked over there and heard a cacophony of thoughts, all talking about some divine justice or whatever. In the middle, shouting the loudest, was an old, yet fit man, dressed in black robes adorned with golden symbols. His hair was cut strangely, like some sort of televangelist. Those who embrace evil will be judged by the Ancient Ones, he growled. Evil is not long for this world, and those who practice it will be thrown in a pit of black flame. Sacred is the will of the gods, and bless them for showing us the path. Hey, I greeted. I was ignored. How annoying. The Koku have shown us divine justice on this hallowed day, he snarled. Blessed are us, the children of the gods. The path towards enlightenment is true and within us all. Sacred are those who would lead us to the path. Hey, I snapped. I was getting quite bored of being annoyed. That's when I realised I couldn't sense his thoughts either. This reminded me of Donald, and it scared me to bits. Hello, young child. He spoke to me at last. Have you come to seek the path towards enlightenment? No, but who are you? I am the one guide on the path, one messenger, he continued. Yes, but what do I call you? Amadeus Schwann, he finally explained. Do you know the symbol? I asked, showing him the chess piece. He shook his head. Somehow I felt that this would be different, less evil. He wasn't thinking, that was it. That's why I couldn't hear his thoughts. Now I did, and he was just as normal as everyone else, relaxing me. I do not know, but know this. This black fire is judgment upon evil, he explained.
The enlightened mark this as a display of what would happen to those who embrace evil. In the name of the gods, we will raise up an army on this hallowed day and...
I walked away, frustrated, all the way back to the scenes and back to the front door of my apartment building. Weird, huh? Rengage's voice rang. They call themselves the Hallowed. What do you want now, Steph? I coldly replied. I want to get some rest. Fine. She was done with me, at least for now. I was about to head inside when, I don't know, something inside me compelled me to walk the other direction, into the streets of the city. And then I heard that whistle again, the one melody Donald always sang, over and over and over, and what the heck? Out of the corner of my eye, I saw someone slink away, looking very much like Donald. I shouldn't have gone after him, but I did, silently, quietly. I should have told Rengage, but I was compelled. Every step, the melody grew louder in my mind, and soon came the laughing. I began to hear a chorus of voices echoing with the melody, harmonizing yet falling off a note, distorted it. Karma, Kaya, karma. Something echoed in my mind. I ran after Donald as he turned an alleyway. I turned it too, leaping at where he should have been. I fell on 2 garbage bags, their contents sending pains across my body. I got up and saw that they both were ripped open. I suppressed a yell as I realised what the insides were. One was a mass of what looked like preserved dead fish, except for the fact that lifeless tongues were sticking out of it, barely glued and leaking fresh blood. The other garbage bag was worse. Inside was what I can only describe as human skin, folded, stitched, and stapled to each other in the form of a head, with teeth and tongues making up the features of the face. Barely glued teeth were the eyes, severed bloody tongues was the head. A ring of small baby teeth was the mouth, and an absurd combination of teeth and tongue made up the ears. But that wasn't what scared me most. That's because, of all the people in the world, that thing, that head, looked just like me. I heard the melody again, and Donald was right there behind me, facing me, a huge, wide smile on his face, sharp canine teeth stretched from ear to ear. His eyes looked bloodshot, dead. He tilted his head, made the smile stretch unnaturally more, turned and walked, a small black bag in his hand. I chased after him, but he walked right into a crowd, and nobody seemed to notice him. I called, yelled, searched, but there was no sign of him anymore. And then, just as I was about to give up hope and report to Rengage, I saw it. While people were walking across the road, I saw a small black bag placed in the centre of the crosswalk, begging for me to take it. So I ran, crept down, and took it. The moment I touched it, I screamed. Pain took over my body. My eyes bled tears of blood. My legs gave out. My vision blurred. And even in all this, nobody paid any attention to my suffering. I breathed what I thought would be my final breath as my vision pulled up with blood, and I heard the piercing ring of a familiar tune. My alarm clock. It was 8 a.m, and I was late to work, but I wondered, had last night been a dream? Wrong. Neatly, on my kitchen table, just next to my cereal, was a small black bag that begged me to open it. On the news were reports of dead bodies being found in an apartment. Outside, through the window, a building had burnt down. And then, just as I was about to leave my apartment, a familiar unnatural laugh returned. An evil face was seen through the hole, and the knocking on the door started again, harder, louder, deeper than last time. And whistling returned again, stabbing my head with pain. The laughing grew in volume, yet the noise seemed moist and wet. I can barely think straight now. So please, Please. If there's anyone hearing this, I need help. Please. If there's any God out there, any path, I need it. I can't live like this. I can't. Help. Please.